I don't think anyone would want to join a ship whose sail is very indeterminate. You know, you don't know what would happen to this regime. Because for me, there are four things that probably we need to look at critically. One is the fact that there is a sense in which the people's power has become very powerful. So to a large extent, the president has actually been pushed to do this, not because of politics, but simply because of the people's power. The fact that they went back to Article 1 of the Constitution and stuck with the people shall. Because, you know, may is a possibility. The fact that we can give power to institutions is just a question of possibilities. Now, I wouldn't understand why someone would want to join this ship at the point where you don't know where these people power will stop. Then number two is the indictment of Parliament. You know, if Parliament gave us these cabinet secretaries and we have people celebrating because they're all going home, then we have a problem in Parliament. So there are so many things we need to sort before we even think of who is joining the cabinet. And then number three, there's also an indication that the president listens. Either he listens or he's been forced to listen. So if another team comes in and things go bad and the president is forced again to act, I think whoever is coming in would be coming in knowing that there is a possibility of the people pushing the president out. And if they join that, they'll go out with the president. And then lastly, is we don't know when this will stop. We don't know when these Gen Zs will stop. We don't know when the conversations around good governance will stop. And then we don't know whether the things that the people actually want will be achieved by a new cabinet in place. Because my thinking is this, it is not a question of the cabinet. I mean, that cabinet could have been as incompetent as it was, but you see, a cabinet position is basically a policy level, you know, a government directive position, you know, that is implemented coming down. And therefore, the political will for a cabinet to deliver does not entirely rest in the person who is appointed, but it rests with the appointing authority. So to the extent that the appointing authority still exercises and wields power, you know, it is this appointing authority that has to deliver on the promises that they made. And I keep going back to that it's not about who is in position. I mean, it could be anyone in that position, but Kenyans will go back to what are the promises that President William Ruto made as he was campaigning. And I think these promises were fairly lofty. And it doesn't matter whether we change the cabinet 20 times, if we don't feel that bottom-up approach model, you know, that model that took so many mambambogas, so many guys who are chomaing mahindi outside there, to the hustler's mansion, and they were told, this is how we are going to build the economy. This government will be your government. Now, that government being our government does not necessarily mean that we have to be in those positions. Simply means that that government has to make our lives comfortable. We have to feel that change. And, you know, to a large extent, it is not like we were even where we were. This is the first regime that has gotten to a space where it has not taken people to another level, neither has it left people where people were. It has actually made situations worse for people. And I think that, for me, is the critical thing. And if ODM wants to join that kind of uncertainty, I think at the end of the day, Kenyans will just celebrate sending a bigger, you know, chunk of politicians who are problematic in this country come 2027.
Okay, and we'll come back to that issue of ODM later on. But from a communication perspective, and let me stay with you, Hesbon, for a while.